Hello, everyone, and welcome to another wonderful Friday evening. Folks, my name is Sam, SAM, spelled like that, and I am here to use some markers, a ruler, and some plans to teach you guys how you can understand your plans and how it might be framed with wood here in the United States. I just recently got back from a faraway land of El Salvador where they do things not with wood. And so this does not apply to you if you live in El Salvador. Getting right into it here, folks. What are we dealing with today? What is this weird building? So you might notice a few things. This is actually review only, right? So if you ever see this on someone's plan, be aware that this is a watermark and it's not intended to be used for construction, and someone probably didn't pay full price for this. Now, this title block happens to be mine, and so I don't care because this is what it is. Now, it's a fun story about this particular house. I never got paid full price for these, so that's a cool time. Somebody basically got all this work done, the review set and everything, and then they just didn't pay me the second half. But hey, that's what it means to do business sometimes. So we are going to analyze this and see what's going on. What is this building like? It is basically a big rectangle. Here's the roof. All right. Super big rectangle, big ridge down the middle. Nothing crazy. A little overhang here for like the door, but like we could basically ignore that. I got some cabinet elevations. And here's the special thing here. So this is an office building where the ceiling was actually raised up like 2 or 3 feet. And this is a truss like that has to be built to like actually do this whole roof. We're going to design this as if there was no truss because we're not truss engineers right here. We're just doing the regular framing thing. So it's a big rectangle with the roof kind of going boop, up like that right in the middle. That said, before we get right into the roof, let's do a quick shout out to those in the chat. Say hi if you're here. We got Mr. Will Stevenson already from the DGen Roundtable. Look at that. If you guys want to learn about cryptocurrency, Mr. Bitcoin here is having a good time. I think that's the Bitcoin symbol. And so you guys should check it out. Be aware of how crypto works. Don't go lose all your money. And you should go to the DGen Roundtable on YouTube if you want to learn a safe way with people that are here to support you, because that is what they do very well over there. So, like that smash button, folks. Thanks, Will, for coming on here and showing the support. So, what do we do when we have a plan like this? Well, here's the electrical plan. Here's the floor plan. We're going to pretty much ignore this dude. We're going to be using, actually, let's see how good I am at this process right here. Can I just rip this right down the middle? Look at that. All right, we do it live, folks. Oh, look at this. This is way more convenient. Okay, roof plan, ceiling plan. Here we go. Okay, so on a roof, the only disadvantage here is I didn't put the roof plan on the walls when I did this one. At this time in my life, I was not doing that. So actually, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to take the electrical plan and I'm going to put it underneath the roof plan. And we're going to see if I can kind of see it. No, just barely. Yeah, not really. It's like it's in here somewhere. Okay, we can kind of see it. Actually, I'm going to trace out these walls just a little bit. Okay. Those are there. This guy runs down here, turns, runs down here, here, goes across. We got some walls in here. Awesome. Okay, so we basically just traced out our walls. So that's where the walls are. And now we can get right into analyzing how we support this. So very simple. I would look at it. It's this big. I would first think about my rafters and be like, all right, am I going to use 2x6s, 24 inches on center? That's the starting point. I got to go from my walls to my ridge. How far does that have to span for one side? 0 is 20 feet. And so if I know I'm doing 2x6s, if I put one support right in the middle, I'm good because I can go 11 feet horizontally with those 2x6s. So all my rafters are going to go, of course, this direction and this direction. And I'm going to put a purlin line right down the middle. Symbolized it was with a dashed line. It's going to go right down the middle of both sides, and it's going to support the midspan of those rafters. And this is an 812 pitch, and I'm pretty sure an 812 pitch running 20 feet horizontally, you're going to have a hard time buying these 2x6 rafters in one board. I don't think it's going to reach. And so, knowing that as well, I am more inclined to use 2x6s and then just splice it with this purlin support, because if I tried to just say, oh, how about I just use a 2x10 because it could span, or 2x12 because it could span, like, I don't really want to do that because the board itself to reach the ridge to the eave is going to be too long anyway. Actually, my elevations are scaled, I think. Yeah, these are 1/4 inch per foot. So let's just put this over here. Yeah, look at that. You would need basically a 26-foot board. So that's really convenient that I have that there. And that's too long. So we're not buying that in commodity lumber. We can go up to maybe 24 feet without getting custom boards and stuff. So that's not going to do. So I'm going to need to splice it, which means I need a support regardless. So that's why I've got this line here. Now, once we've got these 3 lines established, we're just going to follow that 4-foot rule and say, hey, every 4 feet down this thing, I'm just kind of eyeballing here. We're going to need the support. And everywhere we support, we need to run a brace and put the weight down on walls, right? We're trying to take the weight from the roof and get it down into the structure. So, if I was in a perfect world, these would all be the same. And this is not a perfect world. I'm just kind of running through this real quick so I don't waste your valuable time. So I need to know, let's start with the top ridge, okay? How high is this ridge? And I actually have this is super, super convenient. Because I have this section here, I don't normally have a cross section. I'll just take my scale, put it on here and say, oh, look, I'm like 13 feet above all these walls. So my ridge brace that's way up here can actually go way over here to this wall. And I'm not anywhere near a 45-degree angle here, so I can do tons of this. So, and I actually could just go to the midpoint of my roof and say, how much room do I got here? 6 feet. Okay, so my purlins can brace up to 6 feet, reach horizontally, and my ridge can do 13-foot reach horizontally. So basically the whole dang building. Okay, so what that means to me is when I'm bracing my ridge, I'm going to go over to the nearest wall. I'll probably go that way to this wall. I'll go to this wall here. This can go straight down. So these ones will go straight down to the wall below them. The ridge is done. Very happy. All right, this guy, we'll just go over here. We want to generally brace against the direction the rafters are leaning. And we got 6 feet to go. I don't think we can reach 6 feet here. So this one is actually going to be a little bit of an exception. We are going to need our first beam here. And so if I'm going to put a beam anywhere in this room, I'm going to also look at the ceiling plan and think to myself, man, okay, where would I want my beam? Well, it's got to go it's going to go front to back. I got to put it anywhere. I might as well put it directly below this. That way it just, saves me some time. It's right in the middle of the office room, that kind of thing. So now I've got this beam over here, right in the middle of the office room. That carries those. This, I have the same problem. So I'm going to put a beam here as well. Copy it over here. So now I've got a beam in those rooms. Over here in this big open room, what do I got? Well, I don't have anything. I've got a big open common area. And because my ceiling is, quote, flat in this theoretical design, I am going to short span first. I don't want to try to run a beam all the way across this thing because this is 30 feet. If I run one across here, that's too far. So I'm going to try to cross span, and that's 24 feet. Okay, so it's still going to be big, but it's better to do it this way. So I'm going to cross the room left to right first, right in the middle. And yes, that lands on the door, but you could just put a big header in there over the door, whatever, not the end of the world. And then I'm going to run 2 beams off of that. And if I wanted to get funky here, I mean, I'm going to need another beam here. So let's just draw that in right now. So that beam's going to catch this one. Everyone's happy. I'm going to have hangers. You can either do hangers or you can set the beams on top of other beams and like play puzzles. Oh wait, that can sit on the wall. Get rid of that. You could just use the hangers or just, set them on top depending on like how you want to stack things in your framing. That doesn't matter. All that matters is that that's where the beams are. So back to the roof plan. We'll just put these beams right below the bracing. Brace right down to those. Good to go. And this has walls, so we would just brace over to our walls. Even though it's a little bit back angled, that's fine. We can put that there. Or you can, you could brace this direction as well if you like. So that takes care of the roof. Very simple. It's 3 main support lines. Put the weight down on the walls. Put the beams in where you need them. All right. Over here on the ceiling, we've got this. How are we going to run our ceiling joists? Well, the first thing I'm going to ask is, can I just do 2x6s, 24 inches on center everywhere? That's a 14-foot span if I'm doing non-load-bearing attic stuff, which we'll assume this is an office building. Let's assume they're not going to put a bunch of stuff in the attic. So I've got 13 feet here, 13 feet here. These are both good. These are 10s. This one's a little wide. Let's see. That one's 15 feet. And that's 15 feet. This is 12. So this room has a wide span, but it's the only one. And so what I think I'm going to do is I would just say, hey, I'm just going to run all my ceiling joists this direction, splice them wherever you need to, of course. I'm going to run these this direction in this room. I'll run these this direction in this room, and I will change the size to 2x8 because that can, I think, go up to like 16 or 18 feet or something. And I've got 15 feet wide here. So 2x8 at 24 inches on center in this room. And then these can also be 2x6s because I'm going to put the weight on these beams. So that takes care of the ceiling plan. And of course, always watch out, especially, and if you see a big open room anywhere all the time, you are going to have beams, most likely. So pay very close attention to where these things land on the walls. Okay. So because you're going to need a lot of wood in those walls to hold that weight. And honestly, these ones are going to have a lot of weight too because they're holding all the ceiling and all the roof. So a lot of weight gets concentrated into these areas. If you're paying attention to your foundation plan, you should also hopefully have a nice concrete beam or footing below those walls. So that is something to pay attention to. Clearly, we would need to calculate this special header here, but find your openings. Everywhere you got an opening, you got a header. You can mark it out if you like. You know what header, you know what openings look like on the plan. So that is it for tonight, folks. This is a pretty quick one, but I was digging through my plans. I found this guy, wanted to share this little nugget with you, let you know that, hey, sometimes things don't go the way you want, but like it's a pretty neat little plan. And yeah, if you guys want an office building plan, I'm eventually going to get most of my work on my website. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful. And I'm going to do this every Friday, 7:30 p.m. Central. See you guys on the next one. Adios. Let's take it out with some music from the one and only Green Observer.